Hi everyone, and hi Scott, and thank you first of all so much for asking me to come along and be part of your region training tonight. For those of you who have yet to meet, my name is Meg McLean. I am an Executive Regional Vice President and National Vice President in Qualification with Arbonne. So hello to you all, I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm sure you're so excited to hear from Scott and hear all about his trip from Hawaii. I am too. But he's asked me to pop on just to give you some tips. Obviously this for Scott Central region, so he's asked me to give you some tips, and I'm going to focus on really just tips in general for your Arbonne business. It doesn't necessarily matter what level at, it's not necessarily aimed for a particular level. These are just tips that are going to serve you really well in your Arbonne business in general. So let me get started by telling you a bit about who I am first of all. So a lot of you I haven't met, haven't had the pleasure of meeting at these big events and things. There are so many people and I would love to meet you all one day, but I'll tell you a little bit about how I got started with the company first. So my journey started about 7 years ago when Arbonne just came to the UK, and I actually was introduced to the business by Emma Sangster. So Caroline McFarlane gave Emma a call when I was travelling with her in Australia after we went to university, and Caroline said, Emma, I've started this business, you know, I think you and the girls would be good at it. And we were a bit kind of, sounds random, but we went along and we heard all about it, and I was there the first time Sue Cassidy made that trip to the UK, and Sue was only an area manager at the time, so we thought she was the font of all Arbonne knowledge. She'd only been in the business for 10 weeks, but we thought she'd been in it forever. We thought she was the queen of Arbonne, and she was telling us all about, you know, what was in the products and things like that, and she was given a list of things to talk about by Aldis Loreno when she came over here, and she was told not to stray from that under any circumstances. Don't stray from that A4 page. So that's what she did when she came over. So I was very excited when I left that meeting. I was, you know, so my head was so full of ideas. I thought I was going to be a millionaire by the time I was 25. All these American ideas that were put into my head. And I went home and I said, Mum, guess what? I'm going to be a millionaire. It's going to be amazing. It's so good. And Mum said, no, you're not, Meg. Come on. Really? Really? You know, these things work in America. They don't work here. They may make money in this country, so go get a graduate job, all that stuff. You know, it's never going to work. Join the real world. So back to earth with a bang. And I thought, oof, maybe she's right, you know, maybe this won't work. You know, there was no evidence that this business worked in the UK back then. There weren't even any white Mercedes in the country, never mind in the company. White wasn't a cool colour for a car 7 years ago. There were no white BMWs, no white Audis, no white anything. So I thought, maybe Mum's right, so I thought I'll leave it. I'll just see how Emma gets on. So I did. I waited and watched, you know, for about a year until Emma said to me one day, Meg, I'm going to Las Vegas for the Global Training Conference with Arbonne. Do you want to come with me? And I said, yeah, absolutely. But I don't want to go to the conference. I just want to go for a holiday. So she said, okay. So we went for a holiday. It was great. And then the day that I was due to fly home, her mum and her dad flew into Las Vegas. And I knew her mum was doing really well with the business. She'd had her white Mercedes and everything. But her dad, also Bill McFarlane, had started the business by then. And I thought, you know, if he's doing it, there must be something to this. And Caroline McFarlane told me in that conversation that her paycheck that month, which was about 6 years ago, April of 6 years ago, she said her paycheck that month was £5,000. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's incredible. So I signed up. I signed up there and then for the second time round, and I decided to work it alongside my full-time job, which I did for 2 years alongside my marketing job, and then I decided to give up my full-time job. And I was so glad I did, because luckily I had a plan B, luckily I had something else, because lots of people out there don't. And that's what we get to obviously share with people as to why it's a good idea to have a plan B. So that's how I got started with Arbonne. And just, you know, some of you who know Caroline McFarlane now, who know the average paycheck of a national vice president, you'll know that Caroline McFarlane is making a lot more money than that now, but that's, you know, that's what she was, that's the position she was in 6 years ago. So it just shows you, you know, everyone starts at the same place and everyone goes through the same journey. And I think it's very easy for people who have just started Arbonne, or who are district managers, or they haven't been in the business for that long, to look at someone like Scott Campbell, for example, and say, but Scott's this, he's that, he's this. You know, it's easy for him because he's a national vice president. It's easier for him because he's got this, he's got that. Scott Scott's had to work at this just as much as anyone else. All of the national vice presidents are at the top of their game because they've done training like this, they've listened to advice, they've taken that on board, and then they put that into action, which is the most crucial point, is actually putting that advice into action and going forward from there. So I'm going to share a few of my top tips with you, and I'll throw in some little stories and anecdotes of how these things have affected me in my journey as well. So the first one I would say would be, in your Arbonne business, learn to follow, then lead. So when you first start, it can be very tempting to just, become a leader straight away. But until you know what you're doing with your business, you want to just be following the person who's introduced you to the business. Get a handle on that first until you start to show other people. As soon as you have then got a handle on that, then show other people how to do the same thing. But take advice, let your upline come to those first few meetings with you until you understand it fully, and don't try and reinvent the wheel, because so many people do that. So many people start from scratch and they think, you know what, I see how they're doing it, but I'm going to do it that way, that bit better. And the thing is, we've been doing this for quite a while now. We know what works and what doesn't. So please just use our mistakes as your foresight and just go for it. Follow the plan that your upline gives you, and you'll be in a far, far better position in the next 5 years than you would be had you tried to go your own little diversion first of all. So just learn to follow first and then get your head around being a leader. And get disciplined. This is my second point. Discipline is the most important thing in Arbonne. Now, I believe people who are disciplined scream discipline. You can tell just by looking at them. Scott, for example, you just need to look at him and you can tell how disciplined he is. He looks immaculate. He sounds immaculate. He sounds knowledgeable. He is so on the ball when it comes to all of his business things. When it comes to meetings and presentations and things like that, he is on it, and it really shows. So remember, when you're thinking about discipline, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you manage to be disciplined in a certain area of your life, say for example, you manage discipline really well in your 9-to-5 job, but then when it comes to opening those doors to your home and you have finished your 9-to-5 job for the evening and then your discipline just goes out the window, if that's the case, then learn what it is that changes that and what it is that makes that the case, so that you can then tweak that, because discipline is going to really, really serve you well in your business. You need to be disciplined with doing all of your daily routines, that stuff you've heard a lot before, doing your personal development every day, doing your affirmations every day, doing your reading your audios, you're asking people to join Arbonne, making new friends, all that kind of thing. You need to be disciplined with all of that. And I honestly believe that when one area of your life is good, it tends to kind of reflect in other areas of your life. So for example, I know you need to learn what your ideal performance state is. So this is something that athletes use. This is something that Frank Dick talks about in his book called Winning. It's an amazing book. If you've not read it yet, read it. He talks about your ideal performance state. You need to know what that is. So athletes know what they need to eat before they go on, what they need to, how much training they need to do, how much relaxation they need, what their little mantras are before they go on. Have a think about that for you as well. What's your ideal performance state? Do you have certain things that you need to do before you actually go on to perform or to talk to someone about the business or to present the opportunity? Because if you do or you don't, if you do it, great, you need to keep being disciplined with those things. And if you don't, then just figure out what they are. How do you perform best? For example, I know that I perform much better if I have drank a lot of water that day. Sounds like a silly thing, but it's true. Or if I'm eating really well, then I have more energy and I'm just able to do my business much better if I'm eating really well and exercising and fitting all that kind of thing into my life, because it does reflect in your business. Because if you look good, you feel good, then that just shines out and people are attracted to that. Whereas if you don't, if you had a McDonald's for lunch and you're feeling rubbish and you're feeling tired and you've got bags like this under your eyes, it shows. So just get disciplined with all of that stuff. Find out what your ideal performance state is. Even if it's something like, putting on an amazing song before you actually go on to your one-to-one, or maybe it's about Debbie Neal, or anyone who gets you pumped up and gets you excited and gets you in that state to then go and talk to someone about Arbonne, figure out what that is and be really disciplined about it as well. And do that with every area of your business to get organised as well. That can be a massive part of your business. If you look disciplined from the outside, but then you come into your office and it's a bomb site area, then you need to work on that as well, because anything in your home that's distracting you away from your business is doing just that, because it's cluttering your mind and it's preventing you from doing that. So make sure you're getting organised within your business and also out with as well, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So really bear that in mind. And work on your belief. You know, this is something that people talk about a lot in Arbonne. Believe. And when I first heard about it, I thought, believe, okay, I believe. You know, but you can't just believe. Some people can, I believe. I can't. I can't just believe. I have to work on my belief every single day. And that's in 3 different areas. You need to believe in Arbonne as a company and a business. You need to believe in network marketing as an industry. And thirdly, you need to believe in yourself. So let's take these one by one. So first one, you need to believe in Arbonne. If you think about this on a scale of 1 to 10, what number do you believe in Arbonne? If number 1 is, do you know what, I'm not really into it at all. If you are, then I don't know why you're on this call in the first place. But number 10 is you absolutely believe it. You've seen other people working on it. You've seen other people succeed in it. You know it works for some people. So you definitely believe in Arbonne. Definitely believe. 100%. I believe in Arbonne. That's number 10. Number 1 is no, not really. Okay, so figure out what your number is. You don't have to say it to anyone. Just write it down on a page. Okay, if your number is less than 7, I would say, then you need to do a bit of reading on Arbonne. You need to be reading Eye on Arbonne's. You need to be talking to people who have been successful with Arbonne. You need to be looking up information on Kay Napier, our Chief Executive Officer, Peter McTravers, our Head of Product Development, our Institute of Research and Development in California. Figure out why Arbonne is so good. I mean, beyond the stuff that we talk about in the opportunity presentation, really look into the company, really look into the people that do this. And the more you do that, the more your belief will grow and it'll be 10 foot tall and bulletproof. The more reading you do, the more you're going to believe in the company. Okay, number 2, network marketing. So do that number from 1 to 10. Number 1, I'm not really into network marketing at all. Number 10, I absolutely firmly believe that network marketing is the way to go. I believe it is the best industry in the world, hands down. That's number 10. Number 1 is not really. So figure out what your number is. Again, if it's less than 7, then you need to go to work on realising why network marketing is the industry of the 21st century. You want to be looking at things like the 4-year career, flip-flop CEO, 45-second presentation, looking into people like Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump, realising why universities are now teaching about network marketing. Speak to some business lecturers and things like that about why network marketing is so good, and really look at network marketing from, you know, a non-biased viewpoint and look at why it's such a good industry, and that will build your belief in network marketing. The more you do that, the stronger your belief will be, and the more people are likely to follow you, because people follow people who know where they're going and who believe that what they're doing is right. And the thing is, if you don't believe, if your number is not high enough on belief in Arbonne and belief in network marketing, that shows when you're talking to people, because if you don't fully believe it, then you don't really believe that it's that good a thing for other people to do, because you don't really think it's that great in the first place. So you need to so believe that this is the best way to go. And if you don't, then honestly, please go and get some reading done, because that will really build that. And that's 9 times out of 10, if someone has trouble in their Arbonne business, or if they're getting stuck, there's 2 things that really prevent people from doing Arbonne well: fear and laziness. So laziness is, well, that's just laziness, you know, that's lack of discipline, and lacking that get up and go, which that's all about mindset. You can control that. And the second thing is fear. It's false evidence appearing real. You believe that something will happen if you talk to someone about Arbonne. It's that fear of what will people think. It's that fear of how will they see me. It's that fear of what doesn't work for them. All of those fears are rooted from a belief that you isn't quite strong enough. It's a belief that it might not work. It's a belief that it's maybe not the right industry. It's maybe not the right company. So if you can work on that belief, then your fear level just goes down as your belief levels go up. So that's what happens. So really get to work on your belief in those things as well. And the third thing is the belief in yourself. You know, if you don't believe in yourself, then no one else is going to believe in you. And this is something that definitely people have to work on every day. You know, even people who appear really confident, sometimes those people can be the ones that actually they don't believe as much as they think, as you think they do in themselves. So something that really helps with building your personal belief in yourself is affirmations. Now, this is, I see this as a way of tricking myself into thinking that I'm amazing. More amazing than I am. And if you've not experienced how affirmations can work, then next time you're feeling really scared about something, try affirmations. Just look in the mirror and say, I can do this, I can do this, because it really honestly has such an impact. I spoke at AAC not last year but the year before, so 2013. It was all about, you know, just doing it and eating your frog and all that kind of thing. It's actually on YouTube. If you want to look at it, you can. But I had never spoken in front of a large audience before. I'd spoken in front of maybe 100, 200 people. This was an audience of 1,500 people at the previous AAC, and it was in a big kind of, if most of you were probably there and you saw a big kind of almost like a stadium, a mini stadium, and I was speaking on the Sunday. So on the Saturday night I had to go to my rehearsal, and they use, when you speak at a big event, they use what's called an auto cue. So you get words that come up on a screen that I can see, but for you as the audience it's invisible, and words come up, your script basically comes up, and so Argon can approve the script and then it comes up in front of you. So when you see people speaking on the stage and you think, how have they memorised that? They've not. It's a script that comes up on a screen, so they're just really reading it. So that's what I was doing, and I hadn't used auto cue before, and I was really nervous about this. But 7 o'clock on Saturday night was just before the party started. It was like a 50s themed party. So the girl who was doing my rehearsal was really rushing me. She was like, I've got 5 minutes until I have to go to set up the audio, the sound and visual for the party, so we need to be really quick with this. So your script is on the screen, so we're just going to ready, set, go, go. Okay, like, hi there, my name is McLean. I was stressed out my head. I panicked to the max. And the girl was saying, right, okay, that's fine. It'll be much slower than that on the day. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck. So I went home, bumbling wreck, trying to get myself ready for the 50s party and, you know, pretend everything was fine. And then I went to the party and my stomach was doing flips. I couldn't concentrate. So I went home, and as I started to walk out the door, you know, people were saying, hi Meg, and I couldn't even make eye contact with anyone because my eyes were welling up. I was starting to cry. And by the time I got home, I was in one of those fits of, you know, you're crying and you're so, that kind of, your voice just going like this. So I phoned my husband, Stephen, and I said, Stephen, I can't do this. Tomorrow, all the national vice presidents are going to be there, and I'm going to think, and I'm going to mess it up, and my audition can't go well, and I can't work the auto cue, and I'm really bad. What am I going to do? And Stephen said, Meg, go to a mirror. So I was like, right, went to a mirror. I'm at a mirror. He said, okay, so say to the mirror, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Keep saying it louder. I can do this. Say it like you mean it. I can do this. 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 The more I said it, the more my mind changed. It's incredible how much affirmations can help you. It just completely changed my mindset from, I can't do this, I'm going to be a terrible mess, everyone's going to laugh at me, to, I can do this. I will be a national vice president one day. I'm speaking on that stage because I am good enough to speak on that stage, and I'm going to be amazing. And that's how the mindset changed. And I woke up that morning and I went back to that mirror and I said, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And I was so excited about speaking, and I managed to speak without bumbling on the stage, and everything went well. But I share that story with you to let you know that everyone is scared about something. Everyone has obstacles to overcome. For you, it may be speaking on a stage, or it might be speaking to your best friend about Arbonne. You know, different people have different things, but affirmations will firmly set your mind in the right place so that you believe you can do it, you believe in yourself, which will then make you far more confident in approaching any obstacle that comes your way. So really, really bear that in mind when you're going throughout your Arbonne business. Affirmations are absolutely second to none when it comes to personal development. I honestly used to think about affirmations and think, oh, does anyone actually do them? Yes, they do. The successful people do. They do them in the shower, they do them in the car, they do them all over the place. Doesn't matter where you do them, just do them, because it really will help you. Okay, so I've got a couple of notes here. Yeah, learn to discipline your highs and your lows. When you are in Arbonne, if you've been in it for a long time, you'll know this already. If you've just started Arbonne, you will see soon that Arbonne can start off really well, and then it can go like this, and then it can go like this, and then it can go like this, and go like this. Or it can start off low, and then go high, low, high, low, high, low. And the trick is to learn to discipline your disappointments and learn to discipline your excitement. So don't get too high with the highs and don't get too low with the lows. Always be thinking about the bigger picture. Always be thinking about perspective. Does this really matter? This person doesn't like the Annie 9. Will I remember this in 5 years' time? Probably not. I always ask myself that if I've ever got anything that I'm worried about, anything that I'm stressing about, I think, is it really that big of a deal? So always think like that, and try to keep that calm, cool attitude in everything you do with your business, because if you get desperate, it shows, and people don't want to join anyone desperate. You're better just walking with your head held high in one direction, and people will follow you, because that's far better than trying to be among the cats, trying to herd them and, you know, get people together in a state of desperation, because it does show. So stay cool, stay calm, and definitely have perspective with any obstacle that you come across. And don't compare yourself to other people. You know, this is something that we hear about a lot, and Facebook is an amazing tool. It can be really good for encouragement, but I honestly think it can be really damaging to some people as well, because you can look on there, depending on what level you're at in your personal development journey. If you've just started this and you maybe haven't really done any personal development before, you may be looking at other people's stories and other people's journeys and thinking, another person succeeding, another person succeeding, another person. Oh great, this one's done it in 3 months. Amazing, I'm still a consultant. That's fine. Everyone's journey is different. You know as well as I do that some of the most successful people today took the longest time to get to national vice president level. Speed is not important. It's your stability, it's your strength, and it's your character that really counts. So don't compare yourself to anyone else. And remember, people post on Facebook about the good things. They don't post the bad days, because no one really wants to read them anyway. So all you're seeing is this positive PR spin on people's lives. So don't think that everyone else has this perfect silver lining around everything they do, because that's not how it works. Everyone has those difficult moments, but some people just talk about them more than others, but the winners just get on with it anyway regardless. So just do that. I always think of myself as a horse. That sounds bad, but I do. You know the horses when they've got their little carts and they've got these little blinkers on and they can't see that way, they can't see that way. I think of myself in my Arbonne business as having these little blinkers. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right, don't look behind your shoulder, just look straight on. Focus on where you're going. Focus on where things are happening in your business. Focus on what's going to take you closer to your goal. Don't ever look behind you. If you've ever been in a car and you've looked in the mirror in bright sunlight, you'll know nothing looks good in there. So don't look in there. You can't go forward if you're looking behind you all the time. You just can't go forward. So always focus on facing forward and don't compare yourself to anyone else. This is your journey. Everyone else is taken. So just be yourself, because if you're trying to be like someone else, it doesn't quite work the same. So just be you, because you're perfect the way you are. And learn to track your activity as well, because doing Arbonne is much easier than thinking about Arbonne. And if you don't know what I mean by that, then maybe you've never had one of these days, but I used to have them a lot more than I do now. Days when you think about Arbonne. and you think about Arbonne, and you think about it, and you think, I need to phone that person, phone that person, phone that person, phone that person, email that person, I need to do that, I need to organise that training, and you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh, so tired, so tired, this is really hard, I've been doing this all day. And if you think, what have you actually done though? You know, you've thought about a lot, but what have you actually done? Have you put any of that into action? Because if you've not, then all you've done is really think about it. And it does trick yourself into feeling like you're busy. So if you're doing that, then please stop. Just focus on your activity. Focus on things you're actually doing. If it takes less than 5 minutes, just do it now, do it now, do it now. Get into that habit of doing it now, because that's how momentum builds. One little phone call can take 2 minutes in the car. It can be done on your Bluetooth speaker. You know, I used to wait till I was home before I would make a phone call until my desk was perfect. It was empty. I had a blank sheet of paper in front of me. I had my script of what I was going to say. You know, it doesn't have to be like that. Sometimes the best phone calls are just, hi, I was just thinking about you. Can I meet you for a coffee on Wednesday? That's all you have to say. You know, you don't have to prepare a speech or anything like that. So don't overthink it. The more you think it, the more that little tiny flake of snow turns into a snowball, and then this big mammoth thing that you don't even want to deal with because you've thought about it so much. So don't overthink things and just do them straight away when you remember. And something else that's really important is always work within what you can control. So if you've got a blank sheet of paper there, I want you to just draw a little dot and then a bigger circle around it. So I've got a little, here's one I prepared earlier, a little notepad here. So if you see that little dot in the middle, it says circle of influence, and then the wider circle around here, that is your circle of concern. So this little dot here, that in your life, in your business, that is the amount of stuff that you can control. That's what you can affect. That's what your behaviour can influence. The wider circle is what a lot of us spend our time doing. There's no point spending your time in the circle of concern because you're wasting it. You want to be spending your time in that little dot. You want to be focusing your time on the circle of influence. What are you going to do that's actually going to make a difference to your business? Don't spend your time worrying about when Arbonne's going to next launch, you know, the next shade of lipstick. Don't spend your time emailing Arbonne about certain ingredients in certain products. Don't spend your time thinking about why isn't this compensation plan a bit different? Why are district managers called district managers, not district leaders? Stop thinking about all that stuff. Stop concerning yourself with it. Just focus on the circle of concern. Focus on what is going to make you money. Focus on what's going to make a difference to your business. And more importantly, focus on what's going to make a difference to people around you, because that is what's really, really important. If you do have something that's really a burning thing that you really want to be focusing on or asking Arbonne about, mention it to Scott, and Scott can bring it up at the next nation meeting, because they really listen to national vice presidents. And if you are focusing on other people, then that's going to really, really serve you well in your business as well, because when you start succeeding is when you start believing that this business is about other people and not you. If you're looking at people with a pound sign on their forehead, people can tell that, they can smell it, it stinks, and they walk in the opposite direction. You want to be asking people, how can you help them? How can you serve them? What can you do? What do you have that can help their business? And in that way, when you've got people's needs at the top of your priorities, people are going to come to you and you're going to feel really good about it, and you're going to attract more of the same. So always remember that this is not about you. Always be thinking about how can you help that person? What do you have that they need? And then obviously tailor your Arbonne opportunity presentation around that, and be listening. You've got 2 of these and 1 of these for a reason. 2 ears, 1 mouth. So be focusing all the time on listening to other people, listening to what they need, listening to how you can help. And when you're doing that and you're talking less, that's when people are really attracted to you. If you think of any conversation that you've just loved the person, you've walked away from that conversation and you thought, that person is the nicest girl in the world. Usually that girl has been the one that hasn't actually said anything. You probably don't even know much about her. because in that conversation she's asked you, how are you, what do you do, how many kids do you have, what are their names, where do they go to school, are they enjoying it, have they got exams coming up soon, whereabouts do you live, all these questions, and you think that person's amazing. And you actually haven't asked them much about themselves. So always remember that people are attracted to people who let them talk about themselves. So always listen more than you talk, and that's how to gain, that influence and, become people's friends. That is actually a whole chapter in a book of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So if you've not read that, then please get on and read that, because it is a really, really good book, especially if you're not used to those social situations, or you feel like you need to work on your personal skills. So definitely do that. So I'm going to cut it off now, because I think that's over half an hour, and I've been talking to you for, I could talk to you all night. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's been really useful for you, and thank you, Scott, for having me on your call. It's absolutely my pleasure to be doing a call for you, Scott. And I hope you guys all have an amazing time for the rest of the month. And I'll see some of you at Leadership Academy next week. And for those of you I don't see, I will see in Las Vegas. So please go for it with everything you have. Now start of a brand new year, brand new you, brand new start. You get to control what happens. So believe in yourself. If you don't, no one else will. And make sure you've got those blinkers on, ready for your goal, working in a circle of influence, and you're focused, and you're going to do it, going to make it happen. I'll see you soon. Bye.